Yo, what's going on everyone? In today's video, I will be showing you the best updated way to complete the Cayo Perico Heist as a solo player in GTA 5 Online, and doing this can earn you over $1.3 million on average in under 45 minutes. In this guide, I will first be showing how to do all the setups, and then after I will show the best way to complete the finale. So if you go on to enjoy the video, please don't forget to drop a like on it. But now let's get into this amazing guide. Getting things started, what you first want to do is enter inside the Kosatka, walk up to the heist planning board, and then click right D-pad to pay the $100,000 to start the Cayo Perico Heist. Once you've started the heist, what you then want to do is launch up the gather intel mission. This is the very first thing that you want to do for the Cayo Perico Heist. And all you need to do for the gather intel mission is go over to a random plane depending on which location you got, take out some people that are guarding that plane, get inside of it, and then fly it over to the Cayo Perico island. Once on the island, the first thing that you want to do is search it for secondary target loot, and the first area that I recommend looking for secondary target loot at is here at the airstrip. But here is the thing, if you don't find any good secondary target loot here at the airstrip, then the only other area I recommend searching for secondary target loot at is going to be over at the North Dock. And trust me, from personal experience, every time that I didn't get any good loot at the airstrip, I almost always got really good secondary target loot over at the North Dock. And one of the buildings that I recommend searching for secondary target loot at the North Dock is right here, because this building almost always has coke inside of it. And the way this building is supposed to work is by using 2 players during the heist to open it, but luckily it is bugged and you can open it completely solo. Anyway, as you can see, I got really good secondary target loot inside of this one building. I got 1 pile of coke, but that is not the only pile of coke I did get. I did get 1 other pile here in this other building here at the North Dock. But yeah, once you do get at least 2 piles of coke either at the airstrip or the North Dock, what you then need to do is start going over to the communications tower. And this same building that I told you was the best to loot over at the North Dock is a good reference point, because all you want to do is go straight in front of this building and then you'll see this hill. This hill is the hill that you want to go over to go to the communications tower, but make sure that you only go over this hill once the guard is not looking your direction. And once you do successfully get over the hill without getting caught by that guard, all you want to do is follow exactly where I'm going right now over to the communications tower. Also, be careful because sometimes there will be a guard driving a car around here, so all you want to do is take your time and make sure you ignore those guards if they do come by. But yeah, once you made it to the communications tower, just like I did here, all you want to do is look for the signal box to hack into it. Once you did hack the signal box, what you then need to do is open up the phone, go on the Sightseer app, and then search the security camera footage. And the only cameras that we care about searching is of course the basement, that way we can see what our primary target loot is. As you can see, I got the ruby necklace. And then if you want to, you can see the office cameras as well, because sometimes inside the office is some paintings. Anyway, once you found out your primary target loot, you can now stop scoping out the Cayo Perico island and head back over to Los Santos. So now that we are back in Los Santos, we can now get ready to start doing all of the preps. And the first prep that we need to do is the approach vehicles prep, which for this one, we are going to be doing the boat long fin prep. And don't worry, this one is a really easy prep to do. Let's get into it. The very first thing that you want to do is go over to whichever police station it tells you at the bottom middle of your screen. If you are one of the lucky people who owns a Phantom Wedge, I recommend calling it in right before you hit the police station. Once you do have your Phantom Wedge, what you can now do is back it into the police station and then hook it up to the boat. Once you do have the long fin hooked up to the Phantom Wedge, now what you need to do is start heading over to this exact location that I marked here on the map. This is the exact location that we need to deliver the long fin to. Once you get over to this location, I recommend parking the Phantom Wedge right here and then hopping out. Once you hop out, simply blow yourself up and then wait for yourself to respawn. Once you respawn, you should have no more cops on you, so from here, get back inside of the Phantom Wedge and then deliver it over to the drop-off, which is literally right here to the left of us. And boom, just like that, you are completely done doing the approach vehicles prep. It was really easy as long as you followed exactly what I told you to do. A quick way to do the next prep right after this one is by going over to the interaction menu, going over to where it says preferences and setting your spawn location to the Kosatka. From here, simply load into a new invite only session, and then once you spawn in that new session, you'll be already inside the Kosatka. Okay, so getting into the next preps, these are going to be the equipment preps, and for the equipment preps, you don't need to worry about doing the demolition charges one. That one is not necessary, but the first one that we are definitely going to do is the plasma cutter prep, so let's get into it. All you need to do for this prep is go over to the safe house and then enter inside. Once inside, just wait until it tells you at the bottom middle of the screen to search the safe house. Once it says that, open up the phone, go over to Snapmatic, and then snap a picture of the entire room and then send that picture over to Pavel. Once you sent that picture, you should have a whole new location to go over to, and at that location should be a whole bunch of guards guarding the plasma cutter. All you want to do is take out all of those guards and then pick up the plasma cutter and then deliver it over to the Kosatka. Then boom, just like that, you are completely done doing the plasma cutter prep. It was that easy. The next equipment prep that we need to do is called the fingerprint cloner, and this prep is really easy. Let's get into it. What you first need to do is go over to the warehouse and then sneak into it. Once you are inside the warehouse, you'll see 4 guards guarding a laptop. Simply take out those 4 guards and then head over to the laptop and then click right D-pad to hack into the laptop. And this hack is a really easy one. I'm pretty sure you all know how to do this one. Anyway, once you hacked inside the laptop, what you then need to do is exit this area and then head over to the archive to sneak into it. Whenever you do arrive at the archive, just simply enter inside, and now all you want to do is search this entire area for the fingerprint cloner. It should most likely be on one of these 3 tables. As you can see, I found mine right here and then picked it up. After you picked it up though, all you need to do is exit the archive and then deliver this over to the Kosatka, and boom, just like that, you are completely done doing this very easy fingerprint cloner prep. Okay, so getting into the last equipment prep, this one is called the cutting torch, and this prep is really easy. Let's get into it. All you are doing in this prep is going over to a construction site and then looking for a hard hat. Once you find the hard hat, put it on, because once you put this hard hat on, you can literally walk around the entire construction site and not get caught by any of these guards. So as long as you have this hard hat on, you can literally walk around the entire construction site searching all of the toolboxes until you eventually find the cutting torch, and once you do find it, click right D-pad to collect it. And boom, just like that, all you need to do is exit the construction site and then deliver this over to the Kosatka, and just like that, you are completely done doing this cutting torch prep. Okay, so it is now time to do the very last prep, which is called the weapon loadout prep, and this one is optional depending on which weapon you want to use during the heist, but I personally like using the aggressor one because this is my favorite loadout to use during the heist. Anyway, this prep is really easy. All you want to do is go over to whichever building it has you go over to, and then once you're at that building, I recommend entering through the roof entrance, because trust me, the roof entrance is the easiest way to go about this. Anyway, once inside the office, all you want to do is take out the guards exactly as I do here on the screen. Of course, I am speeding it up just because I want it to go fast, but once you take out all of the guards, what you now need to do is try to open the gun locker. As you'll see, it'll say locked. So from here, go over to the laptop right behind us and then hack into it. And this hack is really easy. All you need to do is find the same combination of 4 numbers in a row. Once you successfully did the hack, we can now try to open the gun locker, and this time it should open. Once you opened it, now collect the weapons and then exit out of this building through the roof. And then from here, all you need to do is deliver these weapons back over to the Kosatka, and boom, just like that, you are completely done doing this very last prep. Once you finish that very last prep, once you go back over to the heist planning board inside the Kosatka, you'll see it tells you that all of the mandatory preps have already been done, which is a good sign. Go ahead and accept this alert. And don't even worry about these disruption missions, you literally don't even have to do these. Anyway, once you start the heist, as far as the settings go, make sure you set the approach vehicle set to the long fin, then go down to where it says infiltration point, and if your secondary target loot was at the north dock, make sure you set it to the north dock, but if it was at the airstrip, make sure you set it to main dock. After that, set the compound entry point set to the drainage tunnel, and then go down to where it says escape point and set that to the same thing you set your infiltration point to. Then go down to where it says time of day, set it to daytime, and then go down to where it says weapon loadout and make sure you put suppressors on your weapon. After that, you are all done with the settings. We can now start the Cayo Perico heist. Alright, so as far as the heist goes, I'm first going to be showing you how to loot the secondary target loot over at the north dock, and then after, I will show you how to loot over at the airstrip. Anyway, for my north dock people, all you want to do is follow exactly where I'm going with my boat and park it exactly where I did with mine. From here, hop out of the boat, and then you want to go exactly where I'm going. You should see a guard here in front of you, but do not shoot him. All you want to do is lock onto him and have a headshot. Once you are locked on his head, shortly after you should see a car drive right by him. Once it drives by, then you can simply take out that guard with a headshot. And there is some times where when you shoot the guard, the car will turn back around. Don't worry, all you need to do is take him out with a headshot right here. And that won't happen all the time, it's only sometimes. After that, go over here to where that body that we just took out was, and then stand here right next to this crate. Once you are standing here next to this crate, aim exactly where I am aiming, and then you should see that same car drive right by here. Once he drives by, shoot him a whole bunch of times and take him out with a simple headshot. After that, turn back around and you should see this guard walking right by this building. Simply take him out with a headshot, and after that, you can go back towards the buildings that have the loot inside of it. And if you have secondary target loot inside of the building right here to my left, it is literally as simple as you going up to it and then looting it. But if you have a loot over here in this other building, it is pretty much as simple as you going around the entire building and then entering inside. Once inside, you should see this guard right here, but you don't want to take him out right away. You want to wait until he walks inside of the actual area, and then once he is inside this area, you can now take him out with a headshot. And after you take out that guard, we can now start looting all of the loot inside of this building. And there is one more building to loot at the North Dock, which is probably the most important building. So let's get into how to loot that last building at the North Dock. And this last building is the building that I told you during the gather intel mission that you would be able to open even doing it solo. Once you come over here to the building, go over to the side and then pull the lever to open the gate. As you can see, the gate will permanently stay open. All you want to do is now go inside of this area and then start looting it. But before we head over to El Rubio's compound, let me quickly show you how to loot the airstrip in case anybody who has their secondary target loot at the airstrip is watching right now. Okay, so now let's get into how to loot the airstrip. And this one is really easy. What you first want to do is take your boat over here to where mine is and park it exactly where I did. That way it is really easy for us to leave. From here, hop out the boat and then follow exactly where I'm going over here to the front of this hangar and then take out the guard. Once you take him out, all you want to do now is start looting all of the loot inside of here. Looting the hangar is really easy. To get to the top floor, all you want to do is pick up this crate with a forklift and then put it up to the gate. Once it is up to the gate, all you want to do is climb on top of that crate and then boom, you are now on top of the second floor. Anyway, once you looted all of the loot that you needed to inside of this hangar, we can now exit the hangar. And once you exit, there is one more area to loot for secondary target loot. So let's get into how to do that right now. What you first need to do is go on top of this building here. And then once you're on top of the building, take out that guard on top of that building here in front of us. Once you take him out, now what you need to do is take out the security camera here on this building that we are on top of. After that, drop down here and then you can go inside of this area, but do not go all the way inside until you see that guard at the bottom left of your screen start walking away. Once he is walking away, we can now go inside of the area where the loot is and start looting it. And then boom, just like that, once you got all of the loot from here, we are now completely done looting the entire airstrip. Anyway, once you filled up your entire loot bag at either the airstrip or at the North Dock, what you then need to do is go around the entire island behind El Rubio's compound and then hop out of the boat and then go down into the ocean where the drainage tunnel is. Once you found the drainage tunnel entrance, go up to it and then click right D-pad. And from here, all you need to do is use the cutting torch to cut open this grate. After you successfully opened it, all we need to do is swim through this entire tunnel, and then once we're at the end, click right D-pad, and now we will be put through a really quick cutscene of us entering the compound of El Rubio. Once inside the compound, all you want to do is literally follow exactly where I'm going, over this fence, through this hallway, and then take a left at the end of the hallway. Now go past these two palm trees and hop over this railing. Once over this railing, wait at the bottom of these stairs. We just want to wait until that security guard is looking the other direction. Now we can literally walk up these stairs, walk right past him, and then walk up these two flights of stairs here in front of us. Now wait here at this corner and lean up against it. Once you are leaned up against it, wait until that security guard at the top of those stairs walks all the way down to this corner. Now we can simply walk right past him and then walk into El Rubio's main office. The first thing you want to do when inside the office is walk up to his secret safe and then click right D-pad to open it up. Once you open it up, pick up any cash that is inside of here. It is always completely random. And then after that, go over here to the underground vault entrance and then click right D-pad to hack the fingerprint cloner. After you did hack into the fingerprint cloner like I did here, you'll see the elevator door will open. Once it opens, enter inside and then click right D-pad. From here, you'll now be inside of the underground vault. So from here, walk up to the actual lock and then burn it. Once you open the door, you can then enter inside, and then in this main area is where the primary target is located. So if your primary target is inside the glass case, all you have to do is walk up to it and then cut it open. On the other hand, if your target is the bearer bonds or the Madrazo files, which the Madrazo files you can only get once, that is going to be inside the safe, which is also easy to open. All you want to do is open up the phone, go over to your messages, and Pavel should have sent you a text with the codes. Once you see that code, all you want to do is put that code inside the safe and then it should open. Anyway though, whenever you did get your primary target, whether it was inside the glass case or inside the safe, what you then need to do is make our way back over to the elevator and go back upstairs. Once upstairs, we can now escape the compound, and to escape here, it is really easy. All you want to do is go down these 3 flights of stairs past these 2 guards. Then once you are right here, make sure you are very careful while going through here because sometimes there will be a guard walking back and forth. As long as he is not walking back and forth, you can go over this railing and then up these stairs. Then if the coast is clear, you can then run up here to where the exit is at and then spam right D-pad. From here, we are now going to be exiting El Rubio's compound. Once you are out of the compound, simply take out this guard here in front of us with a headshot and then get on top of that motorcycle. Once on it, go directly here behind us where this helicopter pad is, and you'll see there is going to be a security guard guarding it. So take him out with a headshot, and then once you take him out, go over here to this other road over here on the side. You should see a guard driving a Winky, so drive right behind him, and once again, take him out with a very simple headshot. After you took him out, we can now literally escape the entire Cayo Perico Island. So to do this, follow exactly where I'm going with my motorcycle off of the edge of this mountain right here. Once you are in this part of the water, all we need to do is swim straight forward, and then once you swim over this pile of whale bones, you'll see the heist has now finished and you have now completed it. So once you did complete the heist entirely, of course, the money that you'll earn every time is going to be different because it completely depends on what your primary target was. But one thing that is guaranteed is that you will fill up your loot bag 100% full with secondary target loot every single time, and a completely full loot bag with the coke is going to be worth around $300,000 to $400,000. So that is going to be a guaranteed money you'll make every single heist. So to know how much money you'll make every single time, just basically see what your primary target is, see the value of it, and then add an extra $400,000 on top of that. But anyway, here's how much money I got paid. This was gameplay back when the Panther statue was available. I thought I'd use it because the Panther statue gameplay is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie, since it is rare. But here's how much money I earned. As you can see, $2.13 million. But yeah, that's now going to be the end of today's video. You now know how to complete the entire Cayo Perico heist in GTA 5 Online the best way possible, knowing how to do all the setups now, and also the best way to complete the finale. If you went on to enjoy today's video, or if it helped you out in any way, please do me a favor by going down below and dropping a like on it. But until next time, I will see you all in my very next GTA 5 Online video. Peace.